And now the fateful episode of my Dragon Quest VI 100% walkthrough. First we fast forward through that part, and now we're just gonna go straight to the end. Also, if you're healing up, do not worry about your MP. We are going to get a free refill very shortly.
Also, hello YouTube. It's me again.
Oh yes, that's right, Skyzo's here. And now... Hey. What?
I just said hey.
Hey. So, I'm gonna make note of something. You see the way that Rex's sprite is facing? Up there is a cannon box. That's a trapped treasure chest. Now in the remakes, you want to fight it because it has an instant death spell that it doesn't actually have the MP to cast. Also run away from these guys, the evil pods are tough, y'all. But yeah, it has an instant death spell it can't cast in the remakes, and it's guaranteed to drop a seed of agility, which will be very helpful for Nevin or Chimaru to have. In the Super Nintendo version, however, the game designers were just jerks, so it does have the MP to cast its instant death spell, and it only has a fifth of a percent to drop said Seed of Agility. And the death spell isn't like 100% accurate, it's 30% accurate, but it can still kill you instantly, so jerk move.
That actually reminds me of the one-hit kill moves in Pokemon, and they also have 3% accuracy, interestingly.
Huh, you're right, they do. Never noticed that. Now, also, we got Rex to level 13, so we have the experience we need. In fact, Millie got to level 13 too. I'm not sure how, but regardless, we are not fighting anymore. We have all the levels we need.
I actually had a question on whether this guide would apply to... Well, I mean, I think it would, but how well would it apply to the remake?
Very well. I crafted it specifically because the Super Nintendo is generally the harder version. The remakes, you'll have casino gear, you'll have Yggdrasil leaves, magic waters, because it only takes like a half hour to get all that stuff from the casino in Port Haven, and it is so good.
Sounds good.
Also, this, I'm not sure if you watched episode 1, but this here is a direct callback to what happened in the very beginning. The dialogue is even the same, except Nevin is with us, whereas before it was just Carver and Millie.
I'm a big fan of the lighting effect of the bonfire casts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this game in general, Dragon Quest V, I think is where they started to take stories more seriously. And Dragon Quest VI is where they really tried to be cinematic with it too. They went all out.
I can notice that. So this is going to be the final boss, right?
The Act 1 final boss.
So there's still more content.
Oh, way more. This is a long game.
Okay, that's good.
Now, do you see this dragon? This is actually Ashlyn. Now, her human form is her dream world self, and there's this big subplot about how our party members are trying to find their real world selves, because Murdaw separated their souls from their bodies at the start. Except for Ashlyn, who wasn't there when it happened. So it would have turned out, had this made it into the game, that dragon was her real world self, and that's why she couldn't find it. The scenario writer confirmed that in an interview, and there was going to be this whole thing about the flute, the dragon, Ashlyn, and all that, but it got dropped, so that's why I'm mentioning it here. Also make sure to talk to Nevin. That'll set the return point, and that will be very important. What do you think about that?
I think it's very interesting. It reminds me of Oblivion. You know, the end with Akatosh, I think.
What effect? I never played it. And we can't leave. We cannot leave. Which is bad because that chest we're looking at, in the Super Nintendo, it also has another canna box that can also troll you. The remakes turned it into a treasure chest, and a more Echo Essence, an item that can restore 60 to 70 HP. So another example of the remakes smoothing things over. Interesting, eh?
Seems strange that they would try to troll the player like that, like especially since this is not the first occasion. Like they've tried to do that before.
Yeah, it is not good game design. I'll tell you that much. Anyways...
If the player was aware of what's going on, you know? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think there's a spell you get later that will allow you to analyze chests like that, but you don't have it here, so it's still just kind of a middle finger.
That's a good way to put it.
Anyways, this guy here, what we want to do is get 2 saps on him and then just mash the A button. That's it. The only trouble that this guy can have is that he knows a spell called Snooze, which is a stronger version of Snooze. And Snooze hits the party and it is really accurate. It's like so powerful, it will always have at least 75% accuracy on anything that doesn't resist it outright. Like it's either 100%, 75%, or 0%. There is no middle ground.
And you have to fight them, right?
Yeah. Now, fortunately, they're really weak, so it's not hard, it's just annoying. And here's the most valuable item in the game, or one of them. Now that we have it, we're going to death warp intentionally, so we can save our game. And there we go. Now, check this out. We can return to Murdaw's castle. And that's because we talked to Nevin while we were inside. Also don't know why I warped out. I could have just walked. And now, exclusively to this portion of the game, we are going to talk to the Elder, and you're going to see what happens next. This is pretty cool. Pretty nice, eh?
What happened? I didn't catch that.
The Elder just revives your party instantly, restores them from the dead, all HP and MP is full, we are ready to go.
That makes a lot of sense.
We didn't have to spend a dime, because usually the church will revive your guys, but they demand money first.
Classic church.
Yeah, the church is mostly portrayed positively in this series, but that was always weird to me. Also, I'm getting some useless junk from the trunk in order to take advantage of a glitch that I mentioned long ago. However, you don't actually need it. I didn't know that at the time I was recording it, but all you need to do is enter the equip menu while in battle, and the glitch will activate. You'll see, it's a minor one, not game-breaking. And it's not gonna help with Phase 2 anyway, it's just, it'll make Phase 1 faster. So that's it.
So what did you do?
I saved my game. I showed off what equipment I'm walking into the fight with, and now I'm gonna head straight for Murdaw. Also make sure you're using Rex's MP to heal, cause now we do need to conserve our stats. the glitch hasn't activated yet, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
Oh, okay. You'll see it demonstrated in Phase 1. Don't you worry about that.
And you're saying that the glitch will speed up the Phase 1. So what does it do exactly?
So basically, every time you enter the equip command in battle, the game recalculates your defense, because in the equip menu, you can put on a different piece of armor. However, the game forgets to include buffs and debuffs in it, so if someone lowered your defense, the game will forget that. Conversely, if you increased your defense, the game will also forget that. So it can be harmful or helpful, depending on whether or not you're aware of it.
That, like, to be honest, like, that doesn't sound very useful. It sounds very situational.
It is very situational. And it doesn't even help with the hardest bosses. Most of them. So that's kind of why I'm okay with using it, even though it is usually against my philosophy. And it only applies to the Super Nintendo. The remakes don't have it. Not that you need it anyway, because again, casino gear, but still.
What do you mean?
Well, in the remakes, in both versions, there's a casino just like in Pokemon, where you can earn special coins and then buy super powerful stuff. The problem in the Super Nintendo version is that it is so slow and so unreliable that you'll just spend hours trying to get anything worthwhile. The remakes, however, added in a new machine that gives out coins way higher amounts than the Super Nintendo, so you only need a half hour to get everything that you would want. You've got dragon mails that are like 2 to 3 times stronger than any other pieces of equipment there, and reduces fire and ice breath damage. No wait, platinum mails, and it's magic. It's the dragon shields that reduce ice and fire breath. But you can get platinum mails and shields, you can get Yggdrasil leaves that revive you to 100% health, you can get magic waters that restore your MP. It's super good. And it's only practical in the remakes.
If you remember in Pokemon, there was actually, I think in the red version, there was a Porygon for 999 coins. And that was just stupid. Kind of reminded me of that. It was a boss fight.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that. Anyways, here's the strat for this. First thing we want to do is have Carver preemptively heal Millie with the Gent staff. That's an item that allows you to restore 60 to 70 HP for free. You can use it infinitely. Then Millie will want to upper Carver, Rex, then herself to boost their defense. We want her to get 2 of those on everyone. And if Murdaw casts the defense spell or Kasap like he did there, we'll want to use the glitch if the person doesn't already have upper. Because he can only reduce the party by 25%, whereas upper or buff reduces it or increases it by 50%. And again, just enter the equip menu, don't bother re-equipping and removing everything like I am. You don't need to do that to get the glitch to work. I thought I did. And then after that, you just spam the Fire Claw to cast a spell that usually does 70 to 90 damage, but does around 55 to Murdaw, because he resists it slightly. But it's still by far the best option of damaging him, because he has a lot of defense, and Sap doesn't work on him. So even Carver struggles to get into the double-digit damage with melee attacks. Any questions thus far?
Well, no, not really. You have a way of, lining things out, so it's easy to follow.
Thank you. Also, remember what you said about minions the last time we fought them? Here they are.
Oh, okay. So that was kind of a foreshadowing, I guess.
Yeah. Pretty clever, I think.
Well, it was an accident, so...
So phase 1 is pretty easy. He only attacks once per turn, and he uses mostly the same attacks as last time, except for Kasap or defense. The only thing is, he regenerates 20 HP per round, so we're actually doing more like 30 damage a round, so he takes a while to kill. And you have to kill him first, because if you kill the minions, he'll just summon more. And a lot of the minions he summons are actually more dangerous than the clowns we have now, so just take care of him first. Then once you do, heal yourself up to full before phase 2, while you're still fighting the weakling jesters.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah, phase 1 is simple. Although it kinda takes a while, as you could see.
Now for phase 2, I'd imagine?
Yes. Phase 2 is going to start once we kill both of these guys. So we want to take this very slowly, very deliberately, and get ourselves up to full, because holy cow, phase 2 is not nice to the player. Like, it is the most infamous fight, one of the more infamous fights in the series, and you're gonna see why.
That sounds very ominous.
Thank ya. Like, and again, my chances of winning, even with all my knowledge and knowing what he's gonna do each round, is only about 70%. In this version.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, you did tell me it was 70%. That's pretty nuts.
Indeed. Now, that's in this version. In the remakes, again, casino gear boosted up to 100, but here, we're not so lucky. Okay, now, I'm gonna need concentration for this one, so talk when I say talk, otherwise I need to explain stuff. So, first of all, Millie and Chamorro need to be in front. They are not as important as Rex and Carver. It's nice that Chamorro has a 90% chance of going before Murdaw, but it's not worth giving up the Staff of Ghent or Fireclaw for. Now, Murdaw can attack twice in a single round. Sometimes he attacks only once, sometimes he attacks twice. It's 50-50. And during turn 1, he can do Chilly Breath, which does up to 60 damage to everyone. During turn 2, he can do Lightning, which does up to 45 to everyone. And then during turn 3, he can use Lullaby, which instantly puts you to sleep. So it is a nasty combination of attacks. So we're really hoping he doesn't go twice too often, and that he decides to instead do melee attacks or Dazzle Flash on his respective turns. Melee attacks aren't so dangerous at all. Dazzle Flash just blinds you, which isn't relevant because we're not using melee anyway. And you want to keep careful track of whether or not you're on turn 1, turn 2, or turn 3. And he loops every time he does Dazzle Flash or Lullaby. So he goes in a semi-fixed pattern. So the secret is knowing, okay, if Rex is at 61 HP, like here, is there a chance of him dying? Now I know that in this case, no. Because I know he'll either do Dazzle Flash or Lullaby, like there. And then if he had attacked twice, he'd have done Chilly Breath or Attack, which I know won't do enough to kill. So I acted differently than if he had ended the round with Dazzle Flash or Lullaby. So basically, you're hoping that Carver always goes after Murdaw, that Nevin always goes before Murdaw. You need to keep your HP high, You need to know exactly what he's going to do each round. And at all costs, keep Rex alive since he has the Fire Claw. If he gets put to sleep, put him in the front and hope that Murdaw hits him with a melee attack, because that's going to be what wakes him up. And otherwise, you just gotta hope for the best. Any questions?
Well, not really. Although, now I understand why you say it's random, because, I mean, if it just goes twice in a turn, every time you'd just be screwed. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like if he does twice per turn, he does Chilly Breath or Lightning, then turn 2 he does Lullaby and Chilly Breath, then does Lightning and Lullaby again, then does Lightning and Chilly Breath right after that. He doesn't usually do that, because it's like a 50% times a 50% chance, but the very fact that he can is part of why he's so ridiculous. And granted, he is the final boss of Act 1, so I actually do like the fact that he's so hard, but yeah, down goes half our party. Now we just gotta hope that we survive. It takes about 12 to 13 Fire Claws to kill him, so keep careful track of how many times you've damaged him. He has 900 HP. He doesn't regenerate.
Enemies can regenerate in this game?
Yeah, Phase 1, he regenerated 20 HP every round.
That sounds pretty nasty, actually.
Yeah, the only saving grace in this phase is that he doesn't regenerate. He just has 900 HP, so you don't have to keep track of that at least. And down he goes. This has been Fiode signing out, and God bless.
See you, YouTube.
Whew! Wow, that was one tough boss. But now that he's taken care of, things should start calming down around the world. So, did we accomplish what we had hoped, or will we have yet more challenges to face in the future? Find out next time, and hey, if you liked this video, feel free to leave a like if you wish. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content, and if you have some feedback you want to share, feel free to post something in the comments. Believe me, I love reading them. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you.